Hi, folks. Welcome to Tuesday's Coffee with Jesus. We have moved away from the feeding of the 5,000. We are now on to Jesus walking on the water. Again, just another wonderful story. So let me read John chapter 6, verses 16 to 18. We'll look at those today. When evening came, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. By now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, and the waters grew rough. Now, when you've grown up by the sea, you learn to respect it. I live by the sea now. I cannot envisage a time when I never live by the sea. I go down to the beach at Dudley, and I think it's great, and I just think, hey, I can go in and swim. And then I know nothing about the undercurrents or the tides or whatever. You see people like that with a rubber dinghy or something, they end up having to be rescued by the Coast Guard because they know nothing by the sea. And sometimes life is like that. We think we just sail through it, and then wham, we're just hit with storms. So in Matthew's account of this, we're told that Jesus made the disciples get into the boat. He made them. He said, you go, while he dismissed the crowd. That's Matthew 14:22. He compelled them. Now, I think the picture is that the disciples were a little bit reluctant because they were fishermen, some of them, and they knew that the sea was brewing up to a storm and they don't want to get in. But he doesn't get in himself. The storm must have been pretty rough. They were several miles offshore, and they ended up getting into deep trouble. Now, I think what's fascinating here is that they do what Jesus told them to do against their own better instincts, and then they find themselves in deep trouble. Sometimes we obey God, and it seems as though we're being punished for it. Can I put it this way about the Christian life? It's not always plain sailing. Sometimes the winds are against us, not because of what we've done or because we are sinful, because that is the way it is. Sometimes Christ will take you into some deep storms, but the rewards are absolutely greater still. You think of the sea as being quaint and nice, and it is from a difference. But in ancient Jewish writings, the image of the sea often carried negative connotations. That's why in Revelation it says there'll be no sea in heaven, not meaning the beauty of the sea, but the negative connotations. In Hebrew poetry, it represented that which was ominous and chaotic and destructive. One of the reasons for this is that the Jews never developed a sea trade because of the rocky coast of Palestine. The Sea of Galilee itself, though it was inland, was subject to violent storms. It was kind of a wind tunnel because it was 600 feet high and the wind came off the Mediterranean. And I think there's also another aspect here that it's the dark night and the absence of Jesus being connected. I mean, it's a very profound story in many ways. If you're sailing through rough waters, just remember that you ain't the captain of your own ship, that Christ is. God bless you, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.